Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I decided to do my video outside because it's a gorgeous day, even though you can't really see anything because my dog's cage is behind me, but just trust me, it's a gorgeous day. So today what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing a haul revealing things I bought in Europe, because I'm already doing the whole European travel videos and figured might as well do a European haul in the middle of my European travel videos, mainly because it was voted on for me to do the European travel video. Hopefully you'll be able to hear me over everything. I am talking a little loud, so let's hope for the best, because if not, I'm just gonna have to record all this again anyway for the second time. One of the first places I went to, as you guys saw, was Russell Chapel. But I didn't buy anything there, so I don't really have anything to show you because I just took a lot of pictures. Mainly because all of their gifts were like either generic or had like the Da Vinci Code on it, because that's kind of what they're known for. And I didn't really care a lot for that stuff, so I didn't buy anything. So the first place I actually did buy stuff at was the little town right outside of Edinburgh, like 3 hours away from the main Edinburgh place. But it was still technically considered Edinburgh. So one of the things I bought there was in like this little tiny gift slash cafe shop area was this, because this was the first place I went to. So cute. It shows all of the major buildings of Edinburgh, but I just thought it was beautiful. So figured that would be a good first step, you know? So one of the next places I went to was the actual center of Edinburgh. And so one of my favorite places in the entire trip actually was the Edinburgh Castle, which is why I got a card that has it on it. This is literally Edinburgh Castle. Whenever you go inside, they actually shoot a cannon at 1 o'clock so that everyone around knows that it's 1 o'clock. And I thought that was awesome. And the reason they do it at 1 instead of noon, which is, you know, what most people are like, why don't they do it at noon? The reason why is because they don't want to shoot the cannon 12 times. They only want to shoot it once. So they chose 1 o'clock. But if you are actually there, you can watch them shoot the cannon to signal that it's 1 o'clock. It's amazing. While I was at the castle, I got this. This is just a Christmas ornament of their flower. I think their national flower. And I just thought it was beautiful. And I want to try and start a tradition for me of getting something that can be used for like a Christmas ornament on every trip I go on, from every place I go to. So that way it's like, I went here, I bought the souvenir, it's on my Christmas tree. So that way, you know, I know where I've been to. So I thought that would be like a little cool tradition that I started. In Edinburgh, there was like this little shopping center area, and it was called, I believe, Victoria Street. It was beautiful. And it's one of the streets that apparently, it's almost exactly like Diagon Alley. And if you're a Harry Potter fan, then you know what Diagon Alley is. But if not, Diagon Alley is like this little shopping center where when Harry walks through the wall for the first time, he first meets the Wizarding World. That's where he goes, is Diagon Alley. And the shopping center there is remarkably a lot like it. And they even have a few things that kind of resemble the Wizarding World. Like there was this one shop, and it sold things like this. Now in this bag is tarot cards. I used to have a pack of tarot cards myself, but I can't find them anymore. So I was super happy when I saw the store and I saw these in the window, and I was like, I can't believe they have these when they are legally required to have a chapel in order to be considered a city. So obviously they are very Christian oriented, and for them to have this, I was like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. So I went in, they had several different types of, you know, tarot cards, but I looked through them. They let you look through them, so that was fun too. And the one that I fell in love with was this set, and this one is dragons and fairies. and they have dragons on the one side, fairies on the other. So obviously it's dragon fairy deck, but I absolutely fell in love with this, and I can't wait to open it and like put it on display and things like that again, because that's what I loved about my old deck, is that I could just, they were so beautiful. So the other thing that also was kind of Harry Potter-ish, less witchcraft and wizardry and more actual like Harry Potter-ish, was a little store, and it sold these. And this is a 12 set different colors of ink for quills, and it even has on the top of the jars that it has not only the color that it is, but also it has a little quill point of the pen. And I actually have quills that I write with almost daily. I can't use them at school because I would break them, which would really suck. And I'm not too good with, you know, writing really fast anyway, so normally I have to like have a recording device in the room with me so that way I can go back later and write. So, but one of the things I only ever had was I only ever had two colors. I had blue and I had black. Those are the only two colors I had, ink-wise. And then at Universal Studios, they have a little more variety of ink. They have like a purple and a green, and I bought those as well. But you know, you kind of want to spice things up. Shush! But you kind of... Lola! Shush! I'm sorry. Are you done? No? I think she's done now. So whenever you only have like 4 different colors, you want to spice things up a little more. So a 12 different colored set is amazing for me. So, and I can't wait to use them. The next place we went to was a little place called York, but we didn't actually like really go anywhere in York because we were there for like maybe just a few hours, which kind of sucks because it looked like a really cute little town. It was very medieval, so that was kind of cool too. But before we went to York, the reason why we didn't spend as much time in York as we, you know, were technically supposed to was because on the way to York we stopped at a castle, and the castle is like renowned. It's called the Alnwick Garden Castle, I guess, and it was beautiful. It was absolutely breathtaking. It was very fun to walk around. They had like, it was all tourist stuff though, so it was fun. It was different. They had little places that you could go in and test your bravery, and they had a little area for like dragon hunting, and it was fun, and it was just so fun. It was also medieval. And I bought 2 things from there. I bought this because I thought it was absolutely gorgeous and breathtaking. And it actually is a photo somewhere on the property, but I didn't actually get to see it, so I thought I would buy it so that way next time I go I can actually look for it. But I thought that would be like a cool little treasure hunt. The other part of it that I was absolutely enamored with, and I want to do it so bad myself, is this. They are one of the reasons why they're called the Alnwick Garden is because they have the poison garden. Every single plant in the garden is poisonous. That's why they call it the poison garden. And I just thought that was amazing that, you know, even though it shows that beauty can be dangerous, because the garden itself is absolutely gorgeous, but everything in it is poisonous and can kill you. So definitely like a rose with thorns. You're gonna get the thorns too, so just look at it, because that's all you're supposed to do. So after York, because I didn't buy anything in York, because I didn't really go anywhere for me to fall in love with York, I just walked around with a group and ate at a restaurant and then went to the hotel to go to bed, and then the very next morning we were gone. So not really much I could fall in love with York, so I didn't buy anything there. The next place we went to was London. Now I spent 4 days in London, so I spent a good amount of time there, and I am so happy I did because I am in love. I absolutely love London. One of the first places we went to in London was a art museum, but it was more like a sculpture kind of art museum rather than an actual like paintings art museum. And though I think some sculpture kind of stuff is unique, and I am super impressed with people who can do that kind of stuff, I am not really interested in that kind of stuff, so I don't really find much appeal in going to a museum that only has that stuff in it. So I was very bored at that one, but I had to stay with the group, mostly because we all eat at the same place afterwards, and I didn't know how to get there. So obviously I couldn't just wander off on my own, which kind of sucked. But the next day we got to have like a free day for ourselves, so that was awesome. And one of the places that we went to was the National Gallery. And at the National Gallery they had all of these beautiful artworks and paintings, and I was in love with the place basically. Well, at least specific time periods of the place, which was awesome to me. One of the pictures I loved, which actually confused me, was this one. And it's just a painting of a horse. But when I saw it from afar, my mind was, why do they have a sculpture of a horse? And then as I got closer, I realized it was a painting of a horse, and I was like, how talented does a person have to be? A lot more talented than me to be able to paint a horse, and for me, an observer from a little ways away, to think that it's a sculpture. Like, that it's 3D sculpture. And this guy painted it from so long ago, so I had to get the picture. The postcard of, you know, the picture of the horse. I was just like, I have to have it. And then the other thing that I loved of the actual architecture, and the reason for that is because to me, the way the building looked was just as beautiful and breathtaking as the paintings, which is really hard to say because, you know, whenever you look at pictures and paintings, you're like, that's everything. That's everything. And for me, I was taking pictures of the ceiling, and I was taking pictures of the walls, not just, you know, the artwork. I was taking pictures of the ceiling and the walls, and I was like, it's beautiful. And so I had to get one that showed a little bit of the ceiling and the wall, because I figured you all would want to see it too, because I thought it was beautiful. So that's what I did. While I was at the art museum, I also got these, just because they're international stickers, and the only place they won't send these the stamps won't send to is Europe, because it's, you know, designed to send things out of Europe, not send things into Europe. So for me, this was kind of like, I'm going to be using them, but I'm probably going to be using them more for like sending things back here whenever I go over there, because I plan to move over there to work. So I figured these don't ever expire, so, you know, why not? So the last things I bought at London on our free day, which is the only day that I could really spend, was 2 other postcards. One of them is just the very generic London. It has a bunch of pictures of, you know, things that people notice from London, like the castle, the Buckingham Palace, the London Bridge, the London Eye, the double-decker bus, just, you know, things that people, you know, imagine when you say the word London. These are kind of the things that come to their mind. And it's kind of cool because I went to not all, but most of these places, so that's also kind of cool. I wish I could have taken the pictures like these, because then I would have been like, here's their pictures, here's mine. I didn't really think of that at the time. And the last one I got was one of the London Bridge, and I thought it was absolutely beautiful, so I had to get it. So the actual last thing from London, just so you guys are clear, the very last thing from London that I got was, you know, my Christmas ornament. But since, you know, I went in like the early half of the year, they didn't really have any Christmas ornaments left, obviously, for obvious reasons. So what I did instead was, I thought, well, what could I use as a Christmas ornament? So my mind went to a keychain thing, you know, because they have the hoop and then they have the ornament. So I figured it was perfect. So what I did was I just got one that had the London Bridge, the London Eye, and the clock tower. I can't remember what the clock tower is called right now, but yeah, I cannot remember. But this is my Christmas ornament from London. Now, from Warner Brothers, I bought 4 chocolate frogs, and 2 of my chocolate frogs have been eaten. The other 2 were gifts, so I couldn't eat them anyway. So I don't really have the chocolate frog to show you, but they're the exact same as the ones that you buy in Universal. But I can show you the card that I got. So the card that I have is Delvin Whitehorn. And Delvin Whitehorn, I'll read you the back. Delvin Whitehorn created the Nimbus Racing Broom Company. He helped design Nimbus brooms, which revolutionized the game of Quidditch. A master flyer, he is a Quidditch fan who enjoys watching and playing the game whenever he can. So that's who I got in my chocolate frog, and my brother, but my mom stole my brother's card, so that kind of sucks for him. The other thing I got is whenever I go to Universal, I always get a chocolate frog card, but I also always get a wand. That is one thing that I have followed through every single time I've gone to Universal, is I will go and I will get a wand. And the reason for that is I figured eventually I will go so many times that I will have the entire set. So I'm still working on it. So whenever I went to Warner Brothers, they had a lot more of a selection. So now I'm like, I have to go to that place multiple times so I can get all of the wands. Because, you know, tradition, you know? So the one that I got this time, I fell in love with when I saw it. Because it's Warner Brothers and not Universal, it's not interactive at all, which I'm also kind of fine with because I only get one interactive one, unless it's one of the Ollivander originals, which only comes as an interactive one, which I can't help. But so the one that I got is this one. I think it's gorgeous, so let me try and pull it out real fast. So as it turns out, my camera decided to die, so welcome back. So I watched the video to see where it stopped. Luckily it was towards the end, so I don't mind. But I was going to show you my wand. The reason I got this one is because, one, it's a mermaid skull at that. And the reason why I know it's a mermaid skull is because it has attached to the back of the skull and where the upper vertebrae are supposed to be, it has their little fins. So I thought that was cool. And then coming out of its mouth, kind of like the dark mark, where, you know, the snake comes out of the dark mark and it wraps around and it's like all super cool and stuff. It kind of has that same kind of design because it comes out of his mouth, it goes around him, and then goes back up, back around, and then ends kind of like in the middle of the back of his skull. So I thought that was awesome. So I had to get him. And then he also has like these 2 little gold rings right here. He is probably really, really fragile. So I try not to, you know, mess with him too much. But I think it's awesome. But I always thought that this was just a really cool wand. And it's super detailed. And it's so much lighter than the ones that you could get at Universal. So I was like, I have to get it because it's awesome. It's a beautiful wand. So that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys liked any of the stuff that I showed you, leave a like. If you liked the video itself, leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the little notification bell if, you know, let YouTube know that you actually like some of my videos. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope, you know, I hope the whole series kind of pushes you to go outside of your limits and see places that you've never been to before and explore the world. I hope you guys have a great day. Lola, I need to be quiet. Just for a second. Thank you all for watching. Bye, guys.